from complications to do with COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad situation.
Sad situation. Again, every time I say this and I won't stop. Every time I say this and I won't stop. I'm hoping that that's one number that does not continue to rise. Yeah. But in terms of the roll up your sleeves and vaccinate, the roll up to roll out campaign.
I have a question when you finish. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we are now. I'm not reading these numbers. I'm not Kevon. I am going to say the thing that people want to know, which is for the first dose, we have 67.6% of the population that have taken. That's not of the population, but of the target population. Sorry. Who have taken the first dose, and we are 35% under that have taken the second dose. So numbers continue to rise. Yeah.
So the question wasn't really from me, right? But I don't know how to answer.
Okay.
So I said, let me ask the smart people who does be on the show with me every day.
Oh, okay, Kevon.
You too. You as well. So my question was, when it comes to the oh, I lost the document. Oh Lord.
Oh, when you're done. That's when you bring up Kevon.
Oh, yeah, let me repeat him. My question was, right?
The question that came in.
Yes. The question that somebody asked me yesterday was if the goal is 33,337 and we have 33,928 doses administered, like weighing up more. I don't.
No, that's the doses. That's doses, but this is people.
Yes. Okay. So
doses.
what I was trying to tell them
doses,
was that the doses administered weren't actually saying like, okay, this is how many people have been vaccinated yet. It's just how many doses we've given to people. Because remember, it's 2 doses we have to give to them.
Right. So the number would be double. Yes. So let's say we were to get to 100% under that.
It would be the doses.
The doses would actually be double.
Just to make sure. I mean, you know.
So somebody asked me this the other day too, and they were a bit confused by it. Again, the total doses administered is not, even though it's more than the target population. That is because each person requires 2 doses.
Right. Exactly.
So you know, this, like Azem said, the number at the end of this, all the numbers would be doubled because it would be 2 doses per person. Yeah. So let's keep in mind that there's some persons on this list that have only received 1. There's a few persons now, 35% have already received their second dose. So, you know, the numbers are going to be a bit confusing. But I think the best advice I will give you if you want to make sense of the graphic is follow the little bar on the side.
Yeah.
If the numbers confuse you, just follow the bar.
And that's what I was saying. That's what people are concerned about. Where we're at in terms of the percentage. And again, just to clarify, the percentage stated is not the percentage of the population, the total population, but the total of the target population that we're trying to get vaccinated.
Yeah. So keep in mind what the target population is made up of. Target population does not include children because children cannot be vaccinated. So children are not included in this number.
Right.
They've also made account for some of our seniors that cannot receive the vaccine. So the number that they've agreed upon for both St Kitts and Nevis is 33,000 persons. Out of those 33,000 persons that are eligible for the vaccine, which is 70% of the population of St Kitts and Nevis, we are at 67.6% of the 33,000 we are trying to achieve.
Somebody says, I have a question for y'all. The CMO said last night that they plan to reduce quarantine for fully vaccinated from 9 days to 7 days. But look at the other islands, they will kill us in tourism. St Kitts and Nevis 9 days and Munster at 5 days are clear outliers when it comes to new quarantine protocols implemented throughout the OECS. Anguilla, the British Virgin Islands, and St. Lucia have decided that fully vaccinated travelers are not required to quarantine. Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada now require only 2 days quarantine with a test on arrival.
Now my question to that person is, what has been the result in an increase? Like, has there been an increase in tourism?
I thought tourism ain't coming back no time soon.
Just give me a break, see?
Yeah, tourism ain't coming back no time soon. At all.
Just give me a, like, man, understand. Like, this is the thing what people, like, for me, right? Where the travelers be?
Yes, there has been an increase in other islands.
What has been the increase? Like, this is my problem, right? If you're going to tell me that because these islands have a 3 or 4 day less quarantine than us and we're going to lose tourism as a result, I'm pretty sure that people are aware of that. Like, I'm pretty sure people, meaning the decision makers, are aware, right? And so the question then becomes, why was that decision made? Is it a matter that you don't understand why the decision was made? Is it that you don't agree with why the decision was made? Is it that you have different priorities than the decision makers? Then cool, then let's discuss those. Let's discuss those. You understand where I'm coming from? Like, because people act like they ain't know. Like, we know.
The person said, Americans hungry to travel, numbers not cruise. That's the discussion.
Americans hungry to travel? Americans been traveling all this time.
They never stopped.
They never stopped. They started going to Mexico and Tulum.
Well.
Yeah, they just.
So why we lock down at all then? Why we lock down anytime? Why we lock down anytime?
To get control of the cases.
Like, duh. It's like, okay, it's the same thing going on right now. Like, people seeing Barbados opening up, right? For events and thing. And people going, we need to do. I'm like, watch it. I forget. We was having events for very much, at least, yes, of course, they were limited to the same 150 all the time, up until like a month ago. These other countries wasn't having nothing at all.
Right, remember at one point in time when we were fetting and having fun, all the other countries were looking at us like, but how come they think it's fetting?
How is it that we're at the point now where all we just do is to nitpick on certain little pieces of information and not look at the differences in the situations?
So you don't think it's a good idea to reduce the quarantine time from a week to less?
I believe that that's not my thing. The question is why. But we know why. That's where I'm coming from. We know why. You know why? We know why? Because they've been saying it all along.
Which was the why again?
The why was, for instance, when they changed it from 14 to 9, right? They were saying it was because, one, the vaccinated people can still contract and spread the virus, and we're at a point in our vaccination process where we don't want to have that entering the population.
Okay.
Right? They also said that they would continue to evolve the decision as we go forward. So as more people in the population gets vaccinated, as we're in a better position to handle cases coming into the country, then they would continually reduce the thing. Now, my thing is, if you have an issue with that and you want to watch what's going on in the other countries, let's discuss that.
You know what my issue with this is?
What?
If you're going to tell the citizens who may have come into contact with COVID that they don't have to quarantine because they're fully vaccinated, it's going to be difficult for you to tell people who travel in who also have these same things, who are fully vaccinated, who have a negative PCR test, that they have to quarantine.
Jade, it's not.
Why?
It's not difficult.
Why? Isn't it the same thing if you're telling citizens that they don't have to quarantine if they may have come into contact with somebody with COVID? We
have constantly been talking about mitigating risk.
So you think the risk from somebody traveling here with a negative PCR
No,
test?
and what I'm saying is it's another stream. Like what's happening here, right? We're saying that most of the cases that we're having now can be traced back to case, whether it was 45 or 46, right? That's what we've been saying, right? And so we're dealing with community spread based literally. So we're getting this from one stem, you know, from one stem, one person. And we're having this. We're having people dying. We're having hundreds of cases, thousands of people quarantined. Mm-hmm. So we want to continually bring in more stems.
Okay, I see what I mean. Oh, the person is...
Like, the problem is that people want things to get back to normal, and I understand that, right? Like, my thing is, if you have a different threshold, if you have a different threshold for what is acceptable, that's fine, right? That's fine. But then I don't like the suggestion, like, as if we don't understand why the decisions are being made. Like, they'll tell you.
There's a lot of different factors.
If you disagree, fine. But let's talk about the disagreements.
We compare countries that are not on the same level as us. Let's take Barbados, for example. Everybody say, oh, Barbados is this. Barbados. Keep in mind that a lot of times, if we need medical treatment in the Caribbean, we have to go to Barbados as one of the options. That is because they're in a much better position to handle a lot more medical things than we are. Okay. Keep in mind, Barbados.
Well, we got like literally one real hospital.
Right. Barbados has more facilities. They have more resources.
We have no private hospitals.
Is larger. You know, there's a lot more things happening in Barbados than does happen in St Kitts.
Going back and forth with this person?
No, but they're still speaking, so why not?
So I just asking if we're going to do the whole show talking to this person. Have them come into the studio. They want to join us on Zoom?
Well, I feel like they're really close. They could just walk over.
Oh, well, even better.
I feel like it's just a quick little walk over to the studio.
Put on your running shoes and come.
But last comments from this person. They said it's a balancing exercise which other islands have done. Their science and risk is their science and risk different to ours. These are OECS countries similar to socio-economic systems to us.
We've been doing things different the whole time.
Okay, well, yeah.
We've been doing things different the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, you did say that we probably should try to have a Caribbean approach to this, but that's a long time ago. So.
Long time. Bubble on bus.
Yep. Speaking of bubbles busting, did we discuss that? That there's
the housing bubble.
There's a new travel bubble that we are no longer included in.
Oh yeah, we get that show.
But yeah, this was like we were eliminated from the COVID games, the COVID World Games.
We get eliminated.
Yeah.
That hurts. So. That hurts. Hopefully we could get back to that place where we.
I mean, we've probably been in it longer than most people.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, but you know, we just have to, at the end of it all, we have to understand that yes, other countries are doing certain things, but other countries are operating differently. They've been dealing with things differently since the beginning. We've all been doing things differently. Yes, it's a nice example to have, but because it's an example doesn't mean it needs to be our rule.
But not only that, Kevon, my thing is where we are at now is where these countries were 6, 8, 9, 10 months ago.
Exactly.
So are we really doing anything different to what those countries were doing?
Other countries
they just start to open. They just start to change.
Right,
they just start to change. We
were saying, oh, why we can't shut down like St Kitts, but they were not in a position to do so, so they couldn't. You know, there's a lot of different aspects. So
let me ask you this question.
It's nice to see what other countries are doing.
Who is
the you talking about? Us?
Well, it was at Kevon. Not on the Kevon.
Okay.
1 month into community spread, right? And after the persons have started the vaccination programs and stuff like that. So we're talking maybe within the last 3 months, right? So within the last 3 months, some of these countries would have had community spread already, would have been dealing with it or whatever, right? What was their policy as it relates to people quarantining? We're just now starting to see some of these same countries reducing the numbers. We're literally 1 month into community spread. We're not 6 months into it, 8 months into it.
True.
So the question then becomes like, why we having any lockdown at all? Right? Why are we doing any of these things? Just let it be a free for all then.
That's what some people actually want.
That's what I'm saying. But and we could have that discussion. Right? We could have that discussion. But saying why are we doing it, like they've been saying why they're doing it. Like they've been saying why. If you disagree with the why, then that's a discussion you can have.
I actually missed that part that they said that it would reduce to 7 days. But
I mean, they've been saying it from when it reduced first to the 9 days. The insinuation was that it's a process, is a situation that they will continually look at based on the situation as it evolves.
And I forget to no quarantine.
It seems as though like St Kitts has been one of the countries that has been prioritizing life on a level that may not be matched. And I don't want to say the other countries are not prioritizing life. I just want to say that there's different factors for every island, like Kevon said.
So somebody else is saying, but we have had our breakout amid the vaccine rollout, actually around 63%. The other countries has had their breakouts prior to the vaccine.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much differences in the approach.
Yeah. Well,
You know, one of the things that I'm interested to find out as well, what is the level of vaccine hesitancy between the islands? The islands that would have had severe community spread, mild community spread, and no community spread prior to the vaccine. Because I'm pretty sure there'll be a difference.
Sorry, I was trying to get up.
Because we've seen it.
We missed, which was a lot.
But we've seen it here. We've seen it here where when we had community spread, persons who were on the fence about taking it or not taking it, then went out and decided to get vaccinated. I'm pretty sure the fact that some of these other countries had been dealing with things that we are now beginning to deal with. It hasn't been a week since we had our first death.
And now we have another one.
It hasn't been a week. You understand?
Yeah.
Like even from a psychological perspective. Like imagine it hasn't been a week since the first person on island has died from COVID, and we go simultaneously we reducing quarantine.
Yeah. Boy.
Like, you know what's gonna happen at that point? At that point, some smart person gonna be like, you see, they ain't even care about life. They're talking about they care about life all the time. All they care about is money.
I mean,
Like the truth is, right, there's nothing that you could do that will not be criticized.
Literally nothing at all.
So my thing is I want to see consistency in what the priorities and the messaging is. If you're telling me that you're prioritizing lives over livelihood, then that needs to remain consistent. And if it's not, then you need to let us know what change. Has that, you guys feel like that's been, because that's been the thing that they've been saying from the start. You feel that's been consistent in the decision making? You think the decisions reflect the fact that they've been prioritizing lives over livelihood?
Yeah, I mean, we often see them say that, you know, it's going to impact the economy. This is why we try not to shut down. But on the other hand, like, we have to do things like this what we're currently doing with it, which is a semi-shutdown, because if we have people at work, it's going to spread. You can't just tell people, okay, you know what, go to work and make y'all money and all of this thing, because if that's the case, then when it spreads, they're going to say, well, how y'all got people working and y'all know we have community spread and y'all only care about the economy and these things. So, boy,
what I keep saying, what needs to happen now is this, like, real discussions, plans, like recognizing that we have to find ways for the economy to be more resilient to such things. We need to be more self-sufficient. We need to invest in industries that work 24/7, that allow us to bring in foreign exchange, whether it is technology, whether it is being more food secure, and developing agriculture. Like whatever it is, like those are the discussions that need to be had. Like the world.
It's been a year.
The world. What year?
Do you think we've started these discussions? I mean, it's been, because Corona has been happening since 2020.
Well, we had Mark Brantley here talking about what his vision is for Nevis at least, right? We've been seeing something. I think it needs to be a broader discussion for sure. It's not a matter that it's not being said, but
it has to be,
and it has to be something purposeful and something that you're able to develop excitement and intrigue in the population so that they get a full buy-in from the population.
Somebody is saying, are we going to lock down every time there's a surge for 2 more years?
This is my thing, right?
Is your question?
But this is my thing. Was it not said that for one, they would pretty much prefer not to lock down? In this case, the issue that we were having was that it was becoming increasingly difficult for the contact tracers to keep up with what was going on. And so, in order to get a better handle, they had to shut down. That's one. Two, unlike the other situations we had, we were now seeing an increase in hospitalizations. Remember, I was the one who was there saying like, I don't think we're gonna get locked down. Eh?
Yeah, even though I was like, nah, I see it coming.
But what I did say was, I believe that there are certain factors. There must be a threshold. There must be a threshold. So whether the threshold is, and I have no idea what the thresholds are, but just for example, if they see within, let's say even a daily period, they're seeing 30 people a day getting 30 new positive cases, and you look at, we have X amount of persons in the hospital, there must be something that triggers the lockdown. It can't just be always a breakout and then we lock down. But I want to believe that there must be some threshold, some factors that they're looking at to say, well, these are the things that if we cross here, we realize we're in a place that it's going to be difficult for us if we don't lock down. I could be wrong. I just believe that that's what it is. No. So if you're going to say that, are we going to lock down every time? The question is every outbreak the same? And are we in a position that we were the last time to deal with what the outbreak is? So for instance, I want to believe that we're now going to have more people involved in contact tracing because we recognize by if we get a breakout, we can't really deal with it. We didn't have one before, so the contact tracers wouldn't have been adequate because we didn't need it.
Yeah, I think right now what we're seeing is a different, like people are always talking about, when we didn't have cases, we were doing all of these things. Yes, we were doing all of these things to get us to a place where we understand if we have something like what is currently happening, these are the steps that we need to do to protect ourselves. These are the things that we need to do. Two, the situation is different. We now have where people are vaccinating opposed to when we didn't have any cases. The vaccine rollout literally started recently. It just so happened that we had a breakout recently as well, and because of the things and the science changing and all the information that we have now, we are able to handle this breakout differently. It doesn't have to go straight to a lockdown because, again, we have
there's different factors.
Yes.
There's different situations.
We looked at, we've been able to look at different countries. We've been able to see that, if we have a breakout if we have a cluster, these are the things that we need to do to manage it. We have to do some serious contact tracing. We have to get people separated. We have to get people staying in one place, staying still, so we are able to manage this better. So it's not the same situation as when we first.
And not only that, Jade, I would hope that it's not the same moving forward. For instance, we're seeing a situation now where people are complaining about having to wait days and having to call 2 and 3 times to get the mobile unit to come and do the test. So what I would hope happens is we recognize that, hey, we probably need more people trained in testing. We probably need multiple mobile units, perhaps sectioning off the country. So this unit handles between St. Paul's and Sandy Point.
Right.
This one. So what I'm saying is, we weren't in a place. This is literally the first one, you know.
Yeah, the first
So
community spread that we
I
had.
don't know if every time we get a break up, we can do a lockdown. What I do hope though is that we continually evolve our responses so that we are more resilient to these things happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So we won't have to keep shutting down, or we won't have to keep telling people go home and these type of stuff. Hopefully that's the way forward.
So we're gonna have to see, and if that's not the case, then we have reason to kick up.
Yeah, because then clearly we're doing all of these things and we're not learning, we're not adapting, we're not evolving.
Even this thing, something that some people may not have anticipated, right? We talked yesterday about the quarantine drives to help families that are in quarantine who may have difficulty just surviving being locked down and even having things like food and toiletries and them things, right? You want to tell me the next time we have, like, this can't be something that stops.
Yeah, these things need to continue
it's
be.
no,
We can't wait
we-
till it happens
in o-
again to be like,
in
oh
other
yes,
words-
we need things. Like, no, we can't do that.
In other words, we recognize now, this is somewhere that we need to address this. We need to
I think
bolster.
they did yesterday, and I think they did say that they recognize that it's a different situation, because when you are told to quarantine when traveling, you have time to prepare. If you are
It's a choice.
Yeah, if you just now have to quarantine because you may have come into a contact with a case, it's a different situation.
It's a choice.
So
It's a choice.
yeah.
And you know what to expect. You have an idea of what the costs are going to be. You could put things in place. My sister came here, she had to
because
quarantine, right?
The thing
And-
is,
yeah.
you can't just show up and figure it out. You have to do all of this before you even get in the country. So
Right.
you have to prepare for it.
Yeah, it's different too when you are told no, or you may have come into contact. Your whole household has to lock down or quarantine, and there's nobody to provide for you. But thankfully, again, big up to all the drives that we've been seeing.
And all the people contributing to the drive.
Yes, big up to EK, big up to the one that is put on by the government. We hope to see this continue. As we say, we can't just stop and wait till there's another outbreak to say, well, you know, we have to put this back in place. We need to continue this.
Not only
and
that,
be
you know,
prepared.
Jade, not only that, Jade, you know, even the concept of another outbreak is difficult for me to fathom. Like,
Not for me.
no, what I'm saying is this: I believe that COVID is in the community and COVID will remain in the community. You know?
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of like another outbreak or another no, it's here. It's here now. We have to adapt to the fact that is what is happening.
Yeah. Somebody reminded me of something that the CMO said yesterday when it came to how these things are spreading. I think we were this is one of the questions that we were asking. She's saying that she's noticing that the reason that the cases are spreading is because the people who have to, maybe, like, let's say your mom has COVID and you have to provide certain amenities for your mom. You are not taking the proper protocol.
Precautions, yeah.
You're not following the protocol. So now you end up getting it, and then the person who has to now deal with you or help you or assist you isn't doing the same. So now they have it. So this is how it's spreading. We have to continue to know that we have to continuously follow these protocols, these non-pharmaceutical protocols. It's if you have to.
That's good information to know too for
Yeah.
people who are in those positions, right? To
Yeah.
recognize that you are now in a high risk situation, and perhaps you have to take a bit more precaution even than what you would do regularly,
Yeah.
right?
If you know that you
And
have
I
to come
think
into
a big
contact
thing
with
too
somebody,
is
you have to wear your mask, you have to wash your hands, you have to sanitize, you have to, make sure that the area that you go into or you are around is sanitized. Like, you can't just lapse on these things, because then it spreads, and then it causes a bigger situation.
and I think what we need to also realize is that the vaccine is not a cure. It was never meant to be a cure. It will never be a cure.
Oh boy.
Well, no, many going on the road, but saying that to say,
Me and Jade had a
it's not a
discussion about this
cure.
morning, that's why.
So if it is not a cure, so if you are vaccinated, you still have to protect others around you, because you have done something to protect yourself.
Right.
So you can still, even though the likelihood drops, it doesn't go away. the likelihood decreases of you transmitting it. However, it is not gone.
It's a layer
you
of
still have to
protection. It's a layer of protection.
Right.
It's not absolute defense.
Yeah.
But we have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning, live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
How you doing?
We okay?
You're doing good, man.
Okay, Jade, with your permission. Yesterday I called and I asked a question because I was confused. But in my trying to ask the question, I made a wrong comment and said fool instead. So what I want to do this morning is to apologize to whom I may offend. In saying that, after the program finished, I went to the bakery and I ran into the good doctor, Wilkerson. So I explained to him that I was trying to get back in to make an apology for the word I used. So he said it was okay to me. He said, that's no problem, it's okay. But he said, try call back in so other people could hear and understand. So because yesterday, as I said, I was trying to get back in, but you all were busy, I couldn't get in. So I'm doing that this morning as to clear my conscience that I didn't mean to use the word fool. I meant to use confused. So I called back to apologize.
All right, man.
Enjoy your other
I
time.
appreciate
All
that,
right.
man. I appreciate that.
Yes,
Big
I
man
appreciate
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Big man thing. Big man thing.
Yeah. That was nice. A lot of people don't like to take accountability. So that was very nice of him to realize a mistake and
Indeed,
try to
indeed.
rectify it.
Yeah.
Here we are, though. Yeah. Oh,
We can't talk about basketball.
Only we
yeah.
know
Let's
about-
talk about something else.
But there's something that I did want to bring up again. I know we brought it up last week. But
Oh, me,
what?
I just said we can't talk about basketball. I look up an X-Men talking about basketball. X-Men.
But he said
You,
Chris
you,
Paul caught it and he got vaccinated. So it's still vaccinated.
Close enough.
yeah.
Yes, people don't forget. Like you still, I really don't understand why people choose to hear what they want to hear. Like there's never been a time when they've said that you cannot catch corona because you're vaccinated. At least that I can remember.
Yeah. Okay. So I had this conversation with somebody last night. Apparently, they're saying that they would have heard a time when the impression would have been that you like as if it was suggested that you can't get corona if you're vaccinated. Again, that has not been my thing. But not only that, this is the thing I told the person. I said, but why is it, right, that when that was said, right, when that was said, all the people run out and say, but I'm different to what you were saying all the time. So for me, it's like, we know what the messaging is. The messaging has been overwhelmingly that the vaccine either reduces the risk of you getting seriously ill or dying, or it might be said in a way that it prevents serious sickness or death. But but like I said, for me, I've never heard it suggested that the vaccine somehow makes you it's impossible for you to get sick and die. I like some people would have heard that. Apparently, I don't know. I just saying it. But my thing is, if that has been suggested, that has not been the messaging. Like that has not been the messaging. Am I wrong? Like
Not that I.
Yeah,
that has not been the
not
message.
to my knowledge.
I mean, and if it has been, then I believe we all can agree. We all can agree that there must be some care and attention with the messaging, right? Not only because some people might be quick to pounce on a slip of the tongue, because we see how they went down with Cromwell when he said put your mask over your eye, but also because we just want to avoid confusion, right? So yeah, people in these positions have to remain careful about what they say.
I actually have a clip from Dr. Wilkinson from yesterday. So I think we could probably let me just load it up and I think we could
people saying that was never said.
And then somebody you read the other one?
Anyway.
Yeah, so let's load this one up and hear what he said yesterday. But before we do that, I just want to remind people that there's somebody missing currently. I feel like I know that we're dealing with corona, and that's the important thing. However, we still have to remember that there's somebody missing. I feel like this isn't getting the attention that it should get. I don't know what the police and the other people in charge are doing on their end, but for me, I'm not really seeing like a group effort to raise awareness that this person is still missing and has been missing for a week. So I feel like we should get that out there more. Because if it was you or your family member, I'm pretty sure you would want the same. Like you would want people to be actively looking and searching and, updating people on the situation. So let's try and get some more information on that daily, at least. But yes, as I said, we have a clip of Dr. Wilkinson. This is something from the briefing yesterday. Let's hear what he had to say.
Getting vaccinated means that you have a significant reduction in your risk of getting infected and spreading COVID-19 to others. It means that if you get infected, you may not get severely ill or die from COVID-19. But remember, it doesn't mean that a fully vaccinated person cannot die with COVID, as other comorbidities can contribute to the death of someone infected with COVID, including someone who is fully vaccinated. So being fully vaccinated does not give you immunity from death.
But so yes,
I don't even
you want to hear it again?
not necessarily.
He basically was saying that yes, there's still a risk that you could. Yes, let's apologize for the last part of the clip that should have been cut out, but focus on the important part. He said that yes, there's a risk that you can die if you contract corona, but vaccinating reduces it.
That's exactly what I've been getting this whole time.
Yes, but I don't think people listening and catching it. Like they keep saying, oh, they said that we're gonna die if we catch it, and I don't know when. Azem, we had this conversation this morning.
No, but that's what I'm saying. My thing is, how is it that they clip this, right?
But then clip
which is exactly what he's been saying. But where is the clip? Where's the clip of the contrary? And even if there's a clip of the contrary, has that? Is it that situation was an anomaly? Because to me, they've been suggesting that same thing from the start.
Like, that's why I said I don't read comments on the lives, because if you go through the comments, right, you will swear that you're in a totally different space to everybody else, you know?
Yeah, bye.
Like the comments I read yesterday, I ended up turning them off, of course. But the comments I was reading yesterday, I was like, but when did they say what?
The thing about it for me is,
and I think this is one of the reasons why we still have all this vaccine hesitancy and all these other things, and why people not taking this serious, because like, y'all literally just go to the lives to argue and seem right and not listen. And
this is the thing for me, Jade, right? And this has nothing to do with what side of the fence you're on or what situation we're talking about. Everybody has an agenda. And it's important when you're listening to people to try and figure out what the agenda is. And they will tell you, because based on what they're saying, sometimes it becomes painfully obvious what the agenda is. Right? The government has an agenda. Right?
Somebody saying
the people on the live have an agenda. Right? So it's important that when you're listening to people to try and figure out what is the agenda. That's all I'm saying.
Well, somebody is saying just this morning alone, I found multiple clips of him saying the opposite. Well, send us the clips. Send us the clips, because I don't know. Did you hear him say that we're not going to die, or that the risk of dying is low?
I said it like what my understanding is that the vaccine reduces the risk of serious illness and death. Okay. That's what he said when he talked to us. right?
But we've been getting this from the beginning.
Right.
From the beginning, we've been told that this is supposed to be something that is really going to mitigate the symptoms, which is the way you deal with most things. You treat the symptoms because the symptoms is what sometimes takes you out. So treating the symptoms, trying to prevent you from getting from the symptoms attacking you so much that it causes death.
But not only that,
That's
right?
what the vaccine was aimed to do.
But not only that, it's like this story remind me of like AIDS, right?
Lord.
No, what I'm saying is, people don't really die from AIDS, the complications that come from that, and so for instance, there's an AIDS vaccine, right? That's being touted now. You think they're gonna come out and say that it would 100% prevent death? People have underlying conditions. People unfortunately have other things that they're dealing with. There's a difference in terms of when you recognize, when you got treatment. All these things gonna affect the eventual outcome. So if you're going to go and tell me that you believed at some point that this thing was a magic bullet that was going to just come and just you take it and bye, somehow
Immune.
Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah, no.
Like
It's
that,
it's just a tool in a system. That is why let me not say we, because me and the NUSC task force. But that is why they've been saying other countries as well that on top of vaccinations, you should still social distance and still wash your hands and still, because it's just one factor.
I like the example. I like the example that the doctor gave when he was here, because that was one of the things that I felt was not being properly put out in the messaging, which was just like if you go out in the winter, you could go out in a vest and a boxer, like some of these crazy wild people, or you could go out with a nice cardigan, or if you like me, who grew up in the tropics, you could go out with a heavy winter coat, a scarf, some earmuffs, right? So it's layers of protection. It don't mean you still ain't gonna feel cold.
Exactly.
It don't mean that you're gonna feel like you're in St Kitts. It's just another layer of protection.
Don't to think you put on a swim cap to keep your hair dry and your hair can still get wet. It's not. It's just an added layer of protection.
Yeah.
To keep whatever it is you're trying to do safe.
Well, if you were one of the people who somehow misunderstood the messaging, or that was the impression that you got, I'm here to tell you that this thing is it's not somehow a magic serum that makes you invincible to COVID.
Yeah.
What it does do is reduces your likelihood of contracting the virus. It reduces the likelihood of you being being able to transmit it if you do catch it. And it also severely reduces your chance of getting seriously ill or dying if you have to contract the virus.
Yeah.
Right? That's been my understanding.
Yeah.
That's been the messaging that I've heard consistently from the administration. That's the messaging that I've been hearing from the developers of the vaccine. Right? So
I feel like it's time for a break because this morning was heavy, boy. Feel like we need to take a break and go to our little corners, regroup, and come back.
Give me a break. Break.
Break time.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas, announces king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts. We have the best service and competitive rates on LCL and FCL cargo, including D&E containers, cars, heavy equipment, buses, boats, and barrels from Miami to St. Kitts. LCL pickup service anywhere in the U.S. Call local agents SL Horseman and Company Limited at 869-465-4086 or 869-662-5008 for further details. King Ocean's king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts and Nevis. King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, Peter and Jade, Granny Johnson.
Sometimes I really wish that.
People
Oh,
could
nice
see.
mask, nice mask, nice
Yeah,
mask.
we're matching today.
Thank you.
But yeah, that people
it's my
could see
favorite.
Kevin's dance moves
Right? During breaks?
during the breaks.
Yeah. But yes, earlier I was giving some information. Trevon James. His alias is Bobo. He's from Taylor's Village. He is 26 years old and his complexion is dark. His hair is black, medium cut. His eyes are brown and his build is very slim. He was last seen on Friday, June 11th, 2021 at about 7:54 a.m. at Ponds Pasture. He was wearing a red short sleeve shirt and brown pants. If anyone has information with regards to the whereabouts of Ashton, please contact the Bastia Police Station at 465-2241. You can also call Crime Stoppers. Their hotline is 707.
Yeah. Hopefully he's found and his family could get some closure.
Yeah, honestly, again, and we have to reiterate, any information, please say it. Even if it's just saw them, a text, a video, something, say it, please.
Alright, sure. I want to talk about basketball.
You have some basketball stats you want to give us? Because I thought somebody lost and no two people going to let me know what happened. All I see is
Yes, I love that. I love that synopsis.
yeah, somebody lose and two other people going to the finals.
And to be honest,
That's what happened.
To be honest, I mean, Jay just summed it up.
Yeah. I don't know who lose, but I know people were outraged.
Guys, remember to come to Island Tea for your deep sports analysis.
Yes. I have it for you.
Somebody lose and two other people go in finals. What else you want to know?
But that's not what happened with you.
Huh?
That what happened? Somebody lose and now two people going finals.
Yeah, but that's what I tell you. I tell you.
Show me wrong. Just make sure me wrong. Oh dear.
No. Oh boy. Kevon,
Yes.
young guy, bring me one of them masks, bye.
You sexy, right? You sexy for sure.
You want me headband?
Oh, okay, fine. You win. You win.
Oh boy.
I need some more.
It's very nice. Very nice. I like it lots. It's very comfortable ear straps. It also has an insert on the inside for a filter. Very nice.
Very nice.
But when I bring you back like a neon green. So
yeah, that could work.
let's talk about some St Kitts and Nevis things. So the NHC is monitoring a new tropical wave. The U.S. National Hurricane Center is keeping close watch over a tropical wave that is located 750 miles southeast of the Windward Islands. It says the area of disturbance is producing disorganized showers and a few thunderstorms. The NHC, in its 2 p.m. update, notes, although shower activity has diminished somewhat this afternoon, recent satellite-derived surface wind data indicate that the wave has become better defined since yesterday, which is not good. It says some additional development of this disturbance will be possible during the next couple of days before upper wind levels become less conducive for further investigation by Thursday. The system is expected to move westward to west-northwestward at 15 to my brain just shut down. At 15 to 20 miles per hour, the disturbance has a 30% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. So, with that being said, I think it's time. Let me break out my hurricane checklist. Please get your hurricane items. Here's a NEMA list, which I think is great.
Sure.
NEMA has an emergency supplies kit, and they've listed on it non-perishable food, which should be enough for 3 days. Keep in mind that is per person. So if you're by yourself, enough food for yourself for 3 days at least. If you're a household of 4, make sure each person can eat for 3 days with non-perishable items. All right. Water, the same applies, enough for each person for 3 days. A non-electric can opener, a first aid kit, medication, hygiene items, hand sanitizer, face masks, cleaning supplies, flashlights and extra batteries, portable cell phone charger and cables, battery-powered radio, blankets, sleeping bag, extra clothing, and it's important to keep those extra clothes in something that keeps it dry.
Yeah.
So, wrap them up in plastic bags, giant Ziplocs if you have, keep everything dry. Important documents, things like passports, medical records, vaccination cards, birth certificates, keep those dry as well. You want to carry cash with you. Our Parliament notes don't really get wet, so yeah. And special food, so that includes baby food and persons with special dietary needs. Make sure they have their special food so they can be nourished during the time. So
we're really about to go into hurricane. Well, we're in
hurricane season.
We're really in hurricane
season.
We've
been in it. So
oh my gosh, we're in hurricane season just so again.
Since February, we've been telling people take time, stock up little by little, so that it doesn't feel like this huge thing. I mean, right now, the hardware stores are closed for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Right. I don't think there's
or
any
even financial costs,
But
if you buy piece, it cuts it does less on your financial, you know.
It doesn't. It's not a hard impact. It's not a hard impact like you got to.
Yes, you'll still spend the same amount, but having to fork up $1,000 to do this all at once when you could have done it in $200 increments every month is much easier and more manageable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you try to leave the food and the food stuff and stuff for the stuff that you really have to get. And I mean, even just in time too, you don't want to have to be rushing 3 and 4. If you know you're just like, okay, something is happening, and the main thing, I know I'm good, all I have to really do is figure out food and medication, then I think that takes a lot of stress off of you.
And
as
remember
well.
to check to make sure your flashlights are working. I mean, I know people get flashlights early, like you may have had a flashlight from last year and it was working fine. You're thinking it's working still. Please make sure, because things happen, batteries leak, and then your flashlight's completely gone in. So check to make sure your stuff that you've had is actually working still.
Yeah, and check things. Everything that you think worked last year, check it again. Your radio, your flashlight, your portable charger. Anything that worked last year, check it again. And anything that you stored last year for use this year, check the expiry date. Anything, non-perishables still perish at some point.
Check on the vulnerable people in your community as well.
Yes,
people, the older people especially. Older people, yeah.
And ask them, see if they have a plan in place. See if they have a plan. Don't just ask them ask if they have a plan. If there's some, help them create a plan if they don't have one. See, it could, whether it be they come to stay with you during the time, or you just check in to make sure that somebody has a plan in place. Don't just leave them in their spaces by themselves.
Don't Uncle Joe them, please.
Yeah. Yeah, no Uncle Joe vibes over here.
Dino vibes. Dino vibes at all. I still want to update on Uncle Joe. Not lying.
Tell you there is none, yeah.
My mind has been on him ever since I read that story.
Tell you none was coming.
I need one.
Uncle Joe probably got dementia. I'm serious, I'm not even kidding.
No, I never thought about that part. That's actually why I watch it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, so it's not any fault of his own. He's not being malicious, but if that is the case, Oh boy, that is something that. Whew. Anyway, me want to go down on that tangent.
Let us not.
Yeah. Let's jump into one more, or maybe not. One more for now. So let's talk about Antigua. So Prime Minister Gaston Brown hints at the formation of a new LIAT company. PM Gaston Brown has hinted that there's a possibility of a new company to administer the affairs of the cash-strapped regional airline, LIAT, even as he confirms that talks were ongoing with the 2 potential investors for the airline. LIAT's former major shareholders were the government of Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in July last year, the Antigua and Barbuda government secured an offer from the High Court for administration for LIA, naming Cleveland Seafood as the administrator of the company. Earlier this year, in a letter to the regional leaders, it said that $79 million in severance is owed to the 564 workers that were dismissed by the airline. Seafood said that apart from any possible severance which may come from the LIAT estate, the Antigua and Barbuda government has indicated it is prepared to offer the staff up to a maximum of 50% of their severance, either by cash, land, or government bonds, or a combination of the 3. Brown, speaking on his radio program over the weekend, said that the offer to LIAT workers here is still on the table, even as it awaits an official response from the Antigua and Barbuda Workers Union. He said it is for them to accept the proposal that the government of Antigua and Barbuda extended to them to come up to 50% of their liabilities, primarily their severance liabilities. We still have at least 2 entities that are negotiating with the administrator to become shareholders within the LIAT company. It may have to be a new company because when you look at it, what's happening presently is the threats that are made, the demands that are made by past staff, members of staff, and the union I am not sure now that Liat 1974 Limited will be viable, so there may have to be a Liat 2020, recapitalized and start as a new entity.
Listen, first thing first, if you start on this new... No, I'm going to cuss about Liat oil me. I'm going to cuss about Liat oil me today. I was going to cuss about Liat oil me today. It's okay, I'm going to give them a break today. You know. But what I think should happen is that they first have to deal with one of the major elements, which is taxes. Taxes put in place by the different governments that are added to the tickets when you try to buy them, because they are honestly ridiculous.
Good.
No? Okay, cool.
That is something that affects us, the traveler, in terms of, you know, it just makes it really expensive for interregional travel. The issues that they're facing right now, ain't a thing to do with us by. How they gonna pay the people how them pay the workers? That's the question, you know. The taxes and so the tax, like cost, the money that was paid directly to the airline, anything that was making travel difficult, that ain't a problem. Like but how they gonna pay the workers? That is the question. This thing for me is that I don't know if, let's say, even if there was supposed to be some investment group or something that came together to inject money into Liat, I don't know how that would work when you have so much government influence in the airline. They would have to. They would really have to privatize the airline. Give the investors some sort of probably tax incentive or subsidize the operation of the airline in some way to make it attractive. And then that investment group or investors, whoever they are, would have to find the proper management to manage lay out of this thing. One of the issues that we have here is it's difficult for companies here to raise capital in the region, right? Because of how we structure our financial system and things. So, like to say you got, like you say you have I don't Liat listed on any stock exchange. I mean, we do have a stock exchange here, but obviously the level of like liquidity and volume ain't the same like the US stock exchange or some of the other ones, right? So it's kind of difficult for them to even say, well, we put out a plan, we hired this new CEO, this is track record, and people to start regaining confidence in the airline to start investing their money into it.
Because they've seen how that has went over a couple of years.
Liat has to be two things. One, there has to be some version of Liat, right?
Yes.
We need inter-island travel. We need to be able to travel within the region, right? And I do believe that Liat or whatever airline, whatever they call it, I do believe that there's
they're gonna call it Liat for sure.
No, I do believe that there's scope for a like financially viable airline, like something that makes money.
With this for so long, you know, they have been around since I was a child.
Mismanagement.
So how long will you mismanage before you realize that you have to change?
Jade, who gonna realize they have to change? I tell her already, if the government grow weed, they're gonna lose money.
Because they're gonna mismanage that.
They mismanage. What?
Yikes.
What is it? What's the government doing, right? That you could say really making money outside of selling passports? Crickets. I digress.
And on that note, I think it's time for a break. Yikes.
I just had to pretend the Wi-Fi disconnects. So I couldn't
Me
hear
too.
you.
I mean, we have been quiet for because I don't have a problem with the CBI program.
No, I know that, but besides that, anyway.
Yeah, I guess you really had to answer, no?
Yeah, you have.
All right, break time.
No.
So we'll take a very, very, very short break, and we'll come back to more Island Tea on WINNMedia SKN. We will be right back.
different. We're 98.9. 98.9 WINN FM.
Cool. Energize your goals with Lucozade. Get it cool. Look under the cap. Find the code. Win it. Thousands in prizes. iPhones and TVs. Or win 30 grand US dollars for your goals. That's goals.
For a chance to win 30,000 US dollars. Purchase any Lucozade Energy promo bottle. Look under the cap and find the code to win iPhones, TVs, and free Lucozade for 30,000 US dollars to energize your goals. See website, social media, or press for details. Lucozade, taste the energy.
Good morning, my little superheroes. Tell me, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The power to read minds. Super speed. Pew. The power to heal the sick.
Well, you can get smart, speed, and good health with the superhero trio from Hanley Orange. Hanley Orange has delicious omega-3 bursts, sugar-free multivitamin liquid, and flavored vitamin A, C, and D chewables to support a strong immune system, healthy bone development, and acute mental performance for superheroes like you. Part of the Hanley Orange family.
This is your official invitation to the Conscious Party.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Select the Highest, strictly positive and conscious music and conscious business on WINN FM 98.9, winnfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Chat of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WINN FM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
Mr. Hanley.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem featuring Jade. I decided to jump into Eat Local with Mr. Orson Nurse. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you? How are you, sir? How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Trying to stay safe from, COVID-19 and all that. How are you guys coping down there?
We that's exactly what we're doing. We're coping.
Yeah, we're doing the exact same thing, bro. We're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's all we can do at this point, currently, actually, because, the situation is ever changing. Currently, we are having some community spread, which we are trying to get under control. Hopefully that happens soon, so, yeah.
Yeah, but also, son of the soil, so how your family doing though here? Everybody doing good?
Yeah, everybody doing good. I speak to them on a daily basis, just to make sure, that everybody, taking the vitamins, everybody trying to stay safe, everybody, trying to follow the protocols and, just trying to eat good as well, because I think that's important.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. In terms of, everything that's happening with the whole virus. So for me, it's about trying to stay as healthy as possible,
Mm-hmm.
Nice. But also, there's some people who may not exactly know who you are and what you're into. Like I did mention this before, like you're a son of the soil from right here in St Kitts. And tell the people a bit about yourself.
So born and raised in St Kitts, obviously. Monkey Hill. That's my backbone.
Right.
Get a lot of support from my homegrown people. Mm-hmm. So obviously left St Kitts to pursue cricket in the UK, and then obviously from cricket came the modelling opportunities, and the acting opportunities. So that's it really, if I'm being honest. Like, I travel back home very often.
For sure.
Making sure that, you know, I keep my native tongue, because I don't want the accent to go at all.
Right.
At all.
I got you.
I could kind of hear the English one beating it though, you know.
No, he does come in now and again, Jade.
Oh, okay, I hear you now. With that.
Jump in now and again.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember you being involved in well, actually, you and your well, most people might know your brother from football as well.
Yeah, Zidane.
Yeah.
And so, you know, very athletic family. And like you said, coming out of Monkey Hill, you left to do sports.
Yes.
At what point did you know, and your journey in the UK kind of switch paths a bit? And what path did you eventually start going down?
So basically what happened was I was playing at a decent level. I was playing semi-pro. So I was playing in the Birmingham Premier League for a club called Hillsborough CC. And then I got scouted by another club in the Nottinghamshire Premier League. So I played there for about, I want to say, 4 seasons. And I started to think, well, there's life after cricket, you know, and I don't think a lot of people think about that. So it was very important for me to kind of think, well, okay, what's going to be the next path? And if I'm being totally honest with you, the modeling thing just kind of dropped in my path, and I'll explain to you when I say that. What it was, I came home, I think it was after 3 years, and everybody knows Jubes. Me and Jubes decided, you know, we're going to do a shoot. And we went down Port Zante at the time, and we did the shoot. And I traveled back to England, and I remember him phoning me and saying, boy, Orson, boy, these images here bad. When you go back to England, you need to look into this modeling thing, a serious. And I was like, Jubes, I ain't got time for that. You know,
I trying to figure out life right now.
Yeah, I tried to figure out what's really going on, and maybe I got time for that. He was like, then, okay, but seriously, look into it. Lo and behold, the same weekend, it's funny, the same weekend I went to London, I went to a fete, and I'm walking through the street in my St Kitts head tie. You know, everywhere I gotta make sure I'm repping my flag.
Indeed.
And this lady walk up to me and she goes, you just model? And I said, nah. And she was like, well, you need to start modeling. I was like, okay. And then she introduced herself and she said, look, I'm a model scout, and I need you to come and like see us and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. And I didn't really pay it any mind. And I remember I came back home and I called Jubes and I was like, boy, Jubes, you wouldn't believe what happened. And he would say, boy, I tell you, show the people the images them. And basically that's what happened. I went, had the test shoot with them, showed them the images, and they was like, right, okay. Normally we would kind of like ask people to pay a fee to be a part of the agency, because that's what we do, we recruit people and stuff like that. But however, like, we just want you on our books. So it was like, wow, like what's going on here kind of thing. And then it just went from strength to strength. We signed for them for about a year, and then I started realizing that I could do a lot more in terms of not only being with the agency, if that makes sense.
Right. But let's talk about that, because what you're saying is, after cricket, basically the universe spoke and decided for you. That decided that, you know, this is a path that you're gonna go down, and so now you got involved in modeling, right?
Yeah, but I didn't choose it. It chose me.
Right. And what type of modeling were you involved in initially?
Initially, I was just doing like fashion. I was just doing like magazines and stuff like that. And then I realized, actually, as I started to understand the industry and learn about it and the way how it works and stuff like that, because as I say, I knew nothing about like the industry and how it works and stuff like that. But then I realized that my forte was actually runway modeling, and I felt more at home. I felt more like, you know what, I actually put my flair on this. And for me, if I had to choose any sort of modeling, it would be my runway, because that's what I'm known for, if that makes sense, in terms of the modeling role.
Oh, wow. Because, I mean, and to be honest, it might make a bit of sense to me, you know, seeing that being the case, because you've been someone who, from all observation, has always had a sense of pride and confidence. And I think that's probably something that contributes to your success on the runway. Is that the case?
100%. And not only that too, like, as I was saying to like some of my friends the other day, like, people see like the images and they see all the fluffy stuff. But in terms of the dedication and in terms of the hard work that goes on behind the scenes, like, nobody really sees that, if that makes sense.
Right.
Where you would like, for instance, if I had a runway show like on the weekend, like my coach would call me and be like, right, okay, you need to come up, we need to walk. And I would go to the studio and I would be walking for hours.
Right.
Just walking.
Hours. Wow.
Just walking. That's how I'm doing, you know. Just walking.
That is some dedication right there.
Runway. Up and down.
Wow.
Get it right. Up and down. So there's a lot of hard work, and obviously there's a confidence that goes with it as well. There's a swagger that goes with it. I always try and make sure that Kittitian flair is in there somewhere. It ain't going. It ain't losing that.
You know, I was gonna ask that. You know, I was gonna ask if you believe that your experience growing up in the Caribbean, specifically St Kitts, adds a bit to whatever it is that these people see about you.
100%. Like, it's weird because I would walk into rooms, like if I go to an audition or whatever it is, and you got like hundreds of people in a room, and I walk in and you could just see people go like, and I'm like, okay. And I always make sure I walk with my shoulders back and my chest out, like the Kittitian reach. That's how I do it. You know, I let them know I come to represent, me come joke.
This ain't a game, okay? This is not a game. When the Kittitian walk in the room, all eyes on me.
Simple as that.
Small but we tell her.
When I leave the audition, you have no choice but to remember me.
Right. Wow. And I think sometimes, you know, we don't take those things with us around because we don't really value it. Like, and I keep telling people, Kittitians have a real, like you said, just like a swag to us, you know. Like the way we present ourselves, the way we operate, the way we speak. Like, because it's just what we do and everybody kind of have it, you know, it's just how we are.
Yeah.
We don't recognize that it's something unique and special and something that we could use to then market ourselves in other areas.
You can't teach it. You can't teach it to another island, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, it's hard to explain, but I exude that Kittitianness about me wherever I go, with whatever talent I'm going towards, whatever show I'm going in, whatever runway show it is. Like, I make sure I always thinking of like back home. I hardly ever like walking down the runway or like on a shoot and thinking England in the nicest way possible.
Right.
That's vibes.
That's real vibes. I mean, I just love, and we talk about this here on the Charlie Time, loving when we have Kittitians who are able to go out, you know, leave the country, continually represent, but not just represent, but excel in some of these categories that you might not traditionally think of us excelling in.
100%.
Yeah, but I do believe that you have had some experience, perhaps not just on the runway, but even in front of the camera. I mean, outside of your Facebook escapades, which look at people killing themselves. One time I was living with a friend of mine, and she killing herself, laughing. I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, but Orson, a real puppy show, yeah. I said, but
life is for living. And I always tell people that it's like, if you notice, most of my posts, when I post and stuff, I always got the hashtag one life.
Right.
Like, people need to enjoy life more. I feel like people take social media like too hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just take social media as, you know what? I got one life to live. I'm going to enjoy it. And the people that are around me going to enjoy it as well. Because my circle's small, eh?
Right.
So the people that are around me, I know that I could trust them with my eyes closed and my back turned.
Right.
So, may really care about a lot else.
Right. But has your experience in front of the camera gone past just your Facebook exploits?
100%. Yeah. Because I've obviously just done 83. I'm sure you possibly would have heard about it.
Yeah. Tell the people a bit about that who might not know.
Yeah. We need some info.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so there's certain things I could say and certain things I can't say.
Right.
So obviously, I'm in the movie called This Is 83. So it's like a remake of the 1983 Cricket World Cup, which was shot in 3 different locations, India, London and Glasgow. It's very unique in the sense of how the opportunity came. Because as I said, for me, that was a bit of, one, I would say like God's work. 2, I would say like the Kittitianness in me in terms of like, this is who I am.
Right.
Accept me as I am. And 3, the hard work that I was putting in behind the scenes for, if this opportunity does come, I don't want to just like ajar the door.
You want to be right.
I want to kick it down.
Right.
I want to kick it down. And that was my mindset. Kevon. Like, whenever this opportunity come, I kicking down this door because me gonna let it slip through my hand. And it's an amazing concept in terms of when the movie does release, you'll see what it's like and how they've done it. Obviously, there's been loads of opportunities to kind of release it online, but the director was like, no, this movie is meant for the cinemas, and that's exactly what even if we have to wait until next year, again, we'll wait. One of the blessings for me is the fact that I've got two other Kittitians that was on set with me.
Oh, wow.
So that was like, oh my God, like I got my own people beside me. And I always pull in my people beside me. And you know, we got Jace. Jace plays Viv Richards. In the movie.
Okay.
Big role.
Yeah, and obviously you guys know Jace is a very skilled batsman. So to play Viv, literally you know you gotta be on point.
Right.
We've got Jeezy from Sunny Point. Jeezy plays Andy Roberts. And I play Clive Lloyd as the captain. So basically a lot of the set you would kind of see me and Jace kind of closely together, because as the captain, he's the vice captain. So he was always that way inclined, and the way how they shoot it was different, I shall say.
Look how life just came full circle. Like you started, you went to England to play cricket, and now you're actually in a movie about playing cricket.
Perhaps some of the people who you might have looked up to as well.
And it was my first feature film. This is like my first feature film, and I sit down sometimes and I just go, boy, watch how this here turn out now. Like, I mean, these people went all over the Caribbean to cast for these roles. All over the Caribbean. Antigua, St Kitts, Anguilla, Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, like, and then all over the UK, because they needed to find the right actor, the right fit. So for us to kind of like migrate where I walk into a room in Lords and just hear somebody say, Nurse, I'm like, and it's Jace.
Right, imagine that.
Yeah, for me straight away it was like, what the hell going on here? And then it clicked. And then it just clicked, like, boy, the Lord work in mysterious ways, but I always just kind of stay thankful, you know?
Yeah, that's an amazing feat for all of our Kittitian cricketers. I'm pretty sure that the other people looking up to you guys can aspire to these things. Like imagine having this passion for this sport and now looking and seeing people who also had this passion for this sport actually in a film about the sport that you love, like people that look like you, people that you can relate to, doing something like this.
It was a blessing.
That's amazing. I mean, next time y'all have a little role, you know, Azem does a little acting here, so you know, make sure you keep it. That's what I was saying. I thought that's what it was. No.
Oh my gosh, Jade, what are you putting in? It's not that type of acting, Jade.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Let's nope. Trust me.
No, I'm interested.
No, you're not.
I always make
no, you
sure
are
I
not.
pull my kitchens with me, you know.
Orson, I can promise you. No, you're not interested.
You sure?
I am sure.
Okay. Let's leave it there then. Let's leave it there.
Yikes. Come on, wake up one time. Let's go there.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's so interesting to see that it's just not you guys that are taking part in some of these fields, but also excelling, and we're hoping that once this movie comes out, it really provides even a bigger launch pad for you know, for your career, because I really feel that you are one of the people who, just based on your personality, your flair for life, that is obvious, that this is a field that you could definitely like excel in and really be one of the ones that we're really proud of, even more so, because we're already proud.
Yeah. I work really hard, I can't lie. So for me, whatever like I get or whatever I receive, I know the hard work that I put in. Personally, I really do feel like when this movie actually comes out, like it would actually add so much value to my stock, so much opportunities for me to do other things. Jace as well, I could see him actually getting into the acting world, because this movie is tipped to be seen by 1 billion people. Whoa. 1 billion.
Listen, people, one thing people love is cricketer and a movie about cricket.
And in India,
they're going far.
So it's like, I speak to them daily and I'm be like, just patience.
Nothing happened before it's time.
Yeah, and just take it from there and then see where our careers takes us. So.
Well, I could tell you now, Orson, when this movie is released, you're gonna have to come back and have another conversation with us, eh?
Definitely, because as I said, there's a lot of stuff that I could tell you guys about, you know, when we was on set, and you know, different things that's within the film and stuff that I can't speak about. But on the inside, I'm just purring with excitement, because for me, the most important thing is the fact that I know the opportunities that it can bring, and secondly, it's a collective. We have got other Kittitians beside me. You've got Malcolm Marshall, so his son plays him in the film.
Okay, right.
You've got Shivnara and Chandapal's son, who plays like Larry Gomes as well. You've got who else? We've got Joel Garner. So Joel Garner is played by Clive Lloyd's son, but he's like 7'2", and I got the opportunity to meet Clive Lloyd as well. He came on set one day. We sat down, had dinner, you know, had conversations about the actual World Cup itself. Wow. So it opened up a lot of doors and continue to open up doors. But hopefully, you know, when it does come out, it opens up more opportunities.
Man, and not only that, but like you said, your intention was to kick it down.
And kick it down, he did.
All the way down. All the way down.
And I'm really believing that what happens in situations like this is that because of the exploits of certain people, there's people that then come behind them as well and follow in the footsteps. And so we you know, that's something that I personally, I've said it here multiple times, I really believe that film is something that we really need to invest in as a nation. And we're seeing some movement toward that direction right now. So I'm really hoping that we are able to bridge the gap and continue to push down in this field. And
because we got so much talent. I come home and I see so much talent. I see talent in the modeling field. I see talent in the acting field, and I like all these people here need is just an opportunity. You know?
Yep.
That's the only thing that's missing from the Kittitian contingent in terms of like us getting out here is an opportunity.
Right.
Because I see the talent. You know, I walk on runways with people and I know somebody back home will look like he probably could do a better job.
Right.
And I shoot with somebody and I be like, I shoot with Killian Gale. I came home and, you know, we collaborated together and I like, wow, like the talent is just crazy. It's crazy back home. I did some work with Tilt Hat. And we did like some short little movies, some tasters. So the talent is home to actually build films, you know, and build things in a bigger picture. But you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right.
I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that, you know, globally, that Kittitians are recognized and we could start getting one or two other people out here. Because that's the main goal.
Right. For sure.
Love to hear it. Love to see it. Looking forward to see what else you will come up with and what talent you will find here and use and push and put on a pedestal, because I'm pretty sure you're not just going to leave the talent you find here behind. I'm pretty sure you could be somebody that
Absolutely
can actually...
Actually, Orson live in the UK, right? And if you watch this man social media, you believe the man still a monkey, yeah?
That's how it should be. That's how it should
but it's
be.
true. You would think that's still home.
Yeah, it's true. Like, oh man, and that's something I really
Message me and
respect.
be like, "Are you home?"
Yeah.
Be like, no. They be like, "But Justin, when you snap and I see you in the backyard cooking." I'm like, yeah. So, you know.
But yeah, man.
I try and keep it as Kittitian as possible because, you know, home is home, and I know how hard some of us have it to break through at times. So when one of us break through, we need to make sure that we pull in the others with us. Because as I said, the talent is there.
Right.
It's just the opportunity.
Right. Well, I mean, you have gotten the opportunity, and from all we've seen, you have been making the best of your opportunities, and we're hoping that these things really translate into even more opportunities for you to continue to excel as you move forward, man. Like, it's been a real pleasure talking to you this morning. Really grateful for you taking the time out to come and talk to us. Yeah, really loving the fit, by the way. I'm really loving the fit.
Yeah, man, the man coming him.
Well, I'm going to get married, you know. I just waiting till I done. I think she at the altar waiting, so.
What this is, like the 6th marriage hour?
The fifth.
Okay, all right then.
Too much.
Right. Hey man, but again, thank you so much for coming and joining us today, man. It's been a real pleasure.
No
real
problem.
pleasure.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Anybody you need to shout out before we close up?
Well, obviously my mom, who's been the driving force behind all this hard work, all the licks I get when I was small and that.
Your mother need a movie to me buy.
Yeah, boy, to push me to get to this level. Alan Barker gave me my first cricket bat ever when my mom couldn't afford it.
Wow.
Charles Wilkin used to give me my boots every season when I started playing cricket. Stanley Franks, who was obviously the manager of Brinks, who passed away, I want to say about 2 years ago. He was very influential in my life and gave me the discipline to kind of be like, awesome, whatever you want to do in life, you could do it because I see the talent in you. May soul rest in peace. So, yeah, these people, everything that I do, I think back on where I was to where I am and say, yeah, I'm going to do it for them. So definitely. And big up everybody from Mount Hill, big up the whole Kittitian contingent, and big up WINN FM.
Yes, I.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man, it's been a real pleasure. But guys, there you have it. Orson Nurse,
cricketer
slash model
slash
actor
slash door kicker.
The buyer.
Everything.
Buyer.
Monkey Hiller.
yeah, definitely.
But guys, it's been a real pleasure having you join us here today on Island Tea. Tuesday, June 22nd. Man, it's been one of them days, Jade. I could, you know what it is? You know, I realize what's going on with me too. I haven't been bringing me tea in the morning.
So you're just in here.
I get cranky.
You see how I have mine and I'm calm.
Water. You need to, if you ain't got your tea, make sure you got your water.
Yeah, and
I don't go know where we talk
about. Not even
that
he have. He just in here, winging it.
And you know, I usually got me water. You know, I usually got me water.
Every day, 3 liters of water. Water is important.
Indeed.
You must drink water if you're drinking your tea.
I agree.
But I feel on that. I feel on that.
Yeah, man. Keep the melanin, you know, keep the melanin glowing.
Yes, look at all this glow right here. Like, come on.
Yeah, but thanks to all the people who joined us on the live, whether it's Facebook or YouTube and WINNmedia SKN. We really appreciate you guys, you know, not just logging in, but being a part of the community, liking, sharing, and commenting daily. Witty, big up yourself. J2D, big up yourself. Axman, big up yourself. I see some. Hey, you realize we got some new faves coming on, right?
What was the person from yesterday? Who was the name of the person? My new friend from yesterday.
Oh, just in case?
Yeah, no.
Who?
The person who told me that I should speak less.
Just in case?
Oh yes, big up him one time. I hope you're listening.
Just in
and
case.
enjoy the show again, you know, because that's clearly what you do.
But yeah, and all the guys who tune in on the radio, man, you also big up yourself one time.
All of the callers, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, day by day, you guys come, you guys make what we do worthwhile, and we really appreciate it. We're grateful. But
it's time for us to go home.
Home time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Stay safe, people. Stay safe.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something big and important, guys. We're still on a lockdown. Act accordingly. You know, keep following the protocols as much as possible. Leave your home only when necessary. We're just trying to really get out of this thing the best. As Orson was saying earlier, make sure to take care of yourself, build up your immune system, eat healthy as much as possible. Take your vitamins, all
and make sure you abide by the non-pharmaceutical protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize. We can't slip.
I can wear my mask if Kevon bring one of them there for me. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's actually to make a life.
Yeah, bye. Adidas man.
Yeah. But speaking of Kevon,
the Duke of Forget Bay, the Prosecco Papi himself, the man with the $1 million smile, the chapstick done,
okay, guys,
the slim guard.
I'm going to get married.
What?
Take care of yourself. Bye, sir. Bye. When the movie dropped, I definitely would come and see you guys and give you guys some more info.
For sure.
Before I don't have a wife in the next half an hour, I have to go.
All right, man. Bless up yourself. Take care.
Bless up ourselves.
And congrats.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
But Kevon, also, the man with the sexy mask, what you have for the people?
What I have to say is, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mugger. See you tomorrow.